Hello, Melissa.
Hi. Two times the charm? Is that a statement? I don't know.
I don't know, but it is fun. This is our second time live today. People may have tuned into Wow Wednesday, but first I'll just say I'm Megan Holmes, as some of you know, and I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri at the Needlepoint Clubhouse, also known as STL Needlepoint. And together with my friend and partner in crime, who do I have over here? You want to introduce yourself today?
I guess I could speak for myself. So I'm Melissa McLeod. I'm here at the Wool and the Floss in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, just outside Detroit. And together we're the Pointing It Out podcast team. So there we have it.
You got it. And as we said, we saw each other twice today, but we actually just saw each other in person yesterday, which is amazing
In real life.
Exactly, because it seems like I think we got up at like 5:30 in the morning or something. So there's a lot of life happened between in the last like 18 hours, but it was just 12 hours ago, and we were thrilled to get together to not only spend some time together and talk about the podcast and do some planning, but to also do a whole bunch of shopping. Because
Yeah.
what we did, and what a lot of people may or may not know, is that the needlepoint industry has had kind of on this sort of schedule now. I mean, it historically has changed, but now we've got really kind of two big markets. We call it the spring market and the fall market. So spring is usually in Orlando. Fall has been historically in Dallas. And we unfortunately didn't get to do fall or spring because of COVID. But you and I sort of decided to have a fun kind of event out of it. We've gotten together and we've shopped together at this virtual, and this is the second time. Thank you. It's not quite the same, but we made the best of it. We used the expertise of Melissa's not kids, but I mean, they're your children,
No
but
children.
they're not babies, but they're like, yeah, they're babies enough to have more technological savvy than we do. So,
Isn't saying much, but that's okay.
well, and so I call ahead and I said, hey, do I need to bring a computer? And Melissa says,
Yeah. No, Kaylee, my
we have
24
Kaylee.
she's going to set up the monitor and we'll have two screens going. And it's a little mind blowing to us, like old folks, but they're all like, she keeps debating whether she's going to use three screens, but she said all her friends tell her once you go to three screens, you'll never go back,
Oh,
whatever
no.
that means.
Well, I'm lucky to have a light that's a little blaring today and one computer screen. And so what we decided to do, and in the vein of technology, you're all going to have to give us a tiny bit of a break, but we decided that we wanted to do a little market review because even though we just saw things and bought things on a screen, we were still really wowed by a lot of the things that we saw. And unfortunately, we can't share everything with you, but we will in the coming months when things begin to trickle in. And when more canvases are actually in our hands. But for now, what we're going to do is just share some of the photos that were shared to us at market, right?
And some
Of
of our favorite things, because I mean, there were 54 vendors, I think, and lots of new stuff revealed, lots of old favorites highlighted. So we're just, this is a 45-minute rundown. And so it's just kind of our things that have stuck in our mind is like some of our golden stars, but there's so many great things. And I wish we could show everything, but it's just not realistic. So our things.
The other thing that I think is funny is that you and I have a lot of similar tastes. And so we say, oh, I love that. And you say, I love that too. And then we jump on it. But it is also kind of fascinating when I was looking back over the things that we bought and the things that we saw where I said, I have to have that. And you were like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's nice. But you didn't jump on it too. So it's just kind of fun. Well, and in addition to that, we have to think of our customer. And I might say, oh, I have a customer that I know would love that. Or I think at one point you said something about, I have a customer that loves flamingos. I'm going to have to add that flamingo to my collection. And so it's just, the commentary is something that is really fun and exciting when we're together that we don't really get at market because it's way more like fast and furious. And so
anyway. We spend a lot more time together at virtual market than we ever do at real life market.
That's exactly right. That's right. And then at the end of the day, you convene and say, what did you see here? What did you see there? And what did you like? And whatever.
That's 45 minutes, not 24/7. So
I think I would sum it up by saying that I really like this format, but I really love the hustle bustle of market and the having things in your hands and whatever. But so we can get back to that later. But so I'm not sure how we should launch into this, but as I said earlier, forgive the possible technological challenge. We think we have it all set up, but you just never know when you're actually rocking and rolling.
So if you've been watching the podcast, one of our first interviewees, guests that utilized screen sharing was our 80 plus fabulous designer, Tony Randall. So where I'm going with this is we've never done it. I tried to do it a little bit with Lauren Weiss and I kind of botched it because I wasn't prepared. So we're slightly better prepared, but if Tony could do this, we should be able to do this.
We can do it. The only problem is that we're in two separate places and you can't see what I'm doing and I won't be able to see what you're doing when I'm on, but we'll get through it. So how about, we kind of have a little bit of an idea of how we're going to start. So what we talked about was how cool it was that at Market, there were the tried and true designers, those who have been in the industry for a really long time. Those who are relatively new on the scene, and then those who are brand new on the scene. And so we kind of broke it out that way. So why don't you introduce who we're going to start with before?
So I think we should start with our good buddy, Kate Dickerson. So I'll let you pull up one of her pieces. So Kate has been around in the industry for quite a long time, and she is a true artist. Like, I mean, the things she comes up with just really wow me. And we as industry people received this magazine called the Needlework Retailer, I think it's called.
Yes.
And they're basically like highlights of what's coming up the pike from our artists. And I always like flag the little corners, and it's very old fashioned, but I sit in my bed and I flip through this magazine. And she had a bunch of these crests, I guess we would call them. And they're about 9.5. I think they're 9.5 or 7.5 by 9-ish. They're all slightly different shapes, but I think there's 23. Did we count? 23?
I counted 23. I could be off. It would make sense if there were 24, but Kate's such an artist. She said that she's got even more in her brain, and this is all she could get done before Market. So 23 is probably accurate at the moment. But this was one of our shared favorites of the crests. And this one obviously has, and you can see it, right? I'm just making sure that I did my job. This one obviously has a bit of an Americana flair. And what she's done is that there's an area in each canvas that it can be monogrammed or it can be left plain. But she said that, let me make sure I'm right. She said we could order them with a letter and she'd be happy to paint the letter in. There won't be a chart because each design, as you'll be able to see if you take a deep dive into these, is a little bit different. And so there isn't a standard chart that will fit each of the crests.
So I think we each ordered like 6 or so for the shop. And I believe we both actually put it out to our customers for pre-orders. So if you pre-order with us now, these will be out, I think she said summer-ish. So, but you know, everything's still super slow with the painting services. They're working their cans off to catch up. So I would say September is a fair way to, I hate to say even count on, because you can't count on anything these days.
Yeah, I thought that late summer estimate was pretty fair. It sounds to me like she's placed an order, that she was going to kind of see how things went at Market and then adapt the order as necessary. But this was one of my favorites. Blue and white is so big right now, and the red is just perfect for the holiday season. And but we chose kind of two that had a little less detail than some of the others. There was the one that you loved that we didn't screenshot, that had the I think it was a beagle, like a fox and a hound, and it was it reminisced some of Kate's designs that have the hunting, what is it called, like the dog,
like
what are they,
the beagle,
when you go out for a hunt? I mean, like a hunt scene, I guess is what I'm like, the horns and the beagles and the dog and the ducks and the fox hunt. Is that what I'm trying to say?
That's what I call it. I don't know if I'm right. I've never done it, but
yeah, nothing. But anyway, it's kind of a rustic looking, it's a great like fall winter piece, but some of them are more intricate than others, but those happen to be two of our
there were a couple of elephants. You know, I love my elephants too. So,
and there were some things that she did that sort of looked similar to other designs in her line. And what she did was sort of take bits and parts from designs that she already had created, and then kind of created this whole crest kind of thing. So,
And I think the takeaway is like, go and look at her Instagram page, I would say. Look at, I think there's 3 different posts with like 7 or so each, whatever the math works out to be. And if you have a favorite that you really want, order them with your local shop or one of us, where whatever you want to do. But if you order them ahead of time, you'll get that initial on there.
closer to get them at the end of summer, because what she kind of said was whoever orders them first will get the first round, is really kind of what it boiled down to. So, but yeah, so that was that was kind of like an awe-inspiring moment. Like, man, these are really, really artists, like really great art, and smart of her to kind of take some pieces from her line and kind of refresh them, I guess, in a way, and look at them in a different way. And so we really enjoyed that. They're all an 18 count, which I think would lend itself to some great stitch guides too. So, so fun.
Well, and then she had another
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, another piece that spoke very near and dear to my heart. And she does a lot of the inserts. She works very closely with Tracy at Planet Earth, Tracy and Tom, I should say. And there it is, the queen bee in all her glory. So of course, I love this. This is a 4-inch insert, and Planet Earth has a new-ish leather box. And they of course make it in black, and they also make it in that glorious bright yellow. And it's a 5.5-inch square box, I believe. And you just unzip it, and it's all open on the inside with some gray and white ticking, which the gray and white ticking with the gray, silvery gray on these wings, I just thought was fabulous. So I ordered maybe a few of those.
I can't remember if I put that in my order or not. I may have just let you have those, but
I know you said, oh my God, you have to have that. So,
and then I don't know if I actually added it on my order, but I don't know if Tracy has a Kelly green. Is there a Kelly green in that?
Not to my knowledge currently, but the colors are always changing in those.
Because hot pink or Kelly green or some sort of contrast color would also be awesome with this guy. So
yeah, there's a really great blue that would look nicely with it. So.
Yeah. So
those were, I mean, Kate had a ton of things, but those were 2 of the things that really popped out to us. And I know her crests, she was super excited about. And Megan's getting ready to pull up some things from Rachel Donnelly, but I know Kate also said, besides the 23 she has going on with these crests, that she has all these other ideas that she just can't wait to get out of her brain onto paper. So,
yep. And it's a nice segue. So, speaking of like kind of designing on a theme, so somebody who does that just really well and just kind of sticks to her thing is Rachel Donnelly. And she introduced a whole new series. Oh, shoot, sorry. A whole new series of these topiaries, which we love. Of course, ginger jar and the teapots and I love the reindeer. I just love the reindeer because I picture him having these like little sticks coming out of the top of his head, because after all, he's a bush, right? He's a boxwood like tree.
Right. Well, these are, what do you think they are? I have 2 here. If I was thinking ahead, I would have pulled them, because I have the heart and the rabbit in shop right now. And I think they're about 6 inches tall by 4-ish.
That makes sense. They're not big
background on them.
They could be ornament size, but they're would be great stand-ups. They'd be great insets for pillows. They would be great trays. But yeah, so this is just a new part of the series that she kind of already does really well. And something that she did that we were really, hold on a second so that I can get something she did that we thought was really clever. And what's funny is that I had already talked to Rachel about doing something like this. So she has the alphabet. She has all kinds of things in her line, and she
well, this is how what we first saw them was you sent us in our trade. You know, we do our little trade every summer.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm so sorry. You sent us the H, and I hadn't seen her alphabet before. And one
really?
of my very good customers and a friend, her last name also starts with an H, and she stitched it, and she's a really good stitcher. Her name's Carrie. And she stitched it and had us finish it as like a narrow stand up on a simple wood base. So
well, so I'm glad you said wood base. So first of all, so I had already talked to Rachel about this little idea that I had. And when we talked to her at market, she was kind of working on it for us. But first she had introduced this kind of idea. And really that's just using the J and the Y from the topiary letters that she already has in her line. And then she introduced this wreath and created obviously joy. And I said, I think I'm going to sell those as a set because what I had done, and I obviously I don't have, can you see me? What can the screen see me or is it just?
Absolutely. No, we do. Go.
So I wanted to have a base like this, and I'm having her do NDLPT so that we can have like a line of topiaries sitting on a base. And I'm thinking it would be cute in the shop, but I think it would also give the idea that you could put like all your kids' first names, like say on your mantle or on a kitchen windowsill, or you could frame them in with like your whole last name or any number of things. So she was painting NDLPT so that we can get a sample in the shop, but it was so fun to see that she had come up with a different way to kind of use the same.
Well, I would love to see these finished that way, but I think they would also be great in like a bolster shaped pillow where all the letters are inset. And sorry to beat a dead horse, but we're always talking about our love of Christmas pillows.
Yes.
I just think it would be really great in a bolster shaped pillow with the 3 insets and maybe some,
Well, and even picture it with the gingham that she's got there in that. I mean, how cute to have that kind of separating each canvas. Oh, I love that idea.
Right. So I love that. We both ordered that for our shops because we
sure
both come up with it. So, so Rachel has her topiaries out. And then she also has really expounded upon her greeting card letters. And Megan and I have both had a version of her greeting cards in our shops. I just had Megan, of course, went above and beyond, because you always do.
Oh,
I have greetings from Grosse Pointe and greetings.
I was like,
from
where are you going with this?
here? So we helped. We worked in conjunction with Rachel to design those. So she has a lot of new location series as well. As a matter of fact, one of my very good customers is from Canada. Her name's Cindy, and she's like, "Will Rachel do a greetings from Canada one?" And so we were so excited because Cindy had a little tiny bit of option in designing it, in that Rachel said, "These are my thoughts. What does your Canadian person think?" Because no one knows their area like somebody lives there, right?
That's right.
So Cindy had an opportunity to weigh in, but her weigh in, I think, was, "Oh my God, it's fabulous," because pretty much everything Rachel does is fabulous.
So cute. It has that little moose on it. Oh, so cute.
So she has a lot of new locations right now. I can't even remember like what technically is new and what isn't. So there's a whole section of greetings from location. And then you had worked with Rachel, has it been 2 years ago now, on your club?
We did a club
where it started.
Yes. Yes.
That is more seasonally oriented, but they still look like greeting cards.
Yeah, so we did the series that are like the Thanksgiving letter, the 4th of July letter, the Valentine letter, etc. And so we have stitch guides for all of those, and we can kit the canvases, but a lot of those stitch guides might translate to some of these just to get the ideas of how to do the border and the backgrounds. And so a lot of those stitch guides might work for that. So we were excited. A lot of those postcards, Rachel's done a really good job of doing exclusive designs for those who are in the region. We had St. Louis for a while. I don't know if you said the word exclusive a second ago. I was trying to do the I was manning the pictorial here. But so some of them are still exclusive through different shops around the country. But the series that she also has that we don't have in our like club line she's expounded the it's like letters to Santa, the letter to the reindeer, the letter to Mrs. Claus, but she has the letter to the fairy godmother and the letter to the tooth fairy, and she's just got this, she's kind of grown that I think a little bit too. So, and I don't believe that any of those are exclusive designs to any particular shop. So yeah,
they're really fun.
They are super fun. So another person who has taken a theme, I think that's where we're going next, is it?
Oh, yes, it is. So our friend Sarah, who Megan has interviewed or on the podcast, who we all kindly recall went to Harvard. And yes, I shouldn't keep bringing that up, but it does make the rest of us feel like mere mortals. So she obviously is very, very bright, but also a super talented artist. So Sarah Truxes is one of KCN designers, or KC designers, I think. One of their artists, and she about 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago. I have no sense of timing anymore. Let's be honest. Rolled out her Christmas advent calendar, and I think we each ordered a dozen or so for our customers. It was very, very well received. And like 2 days before market, out pops Sarah's latest brainstorm, which is this amazing Halloween countdown. I don't know if you call it an advent. That seems a little maybe sacrilegious. I don't know. But Halloween countdown, and it is so darn cute. So this is the same size as the Christmas one, which I shouldn't have brought up size because I don't know the answer. Something by 24, something by 22. It's big is all I have to say. It's on 13 mesh. It's a large piece. I think each of those squares is about an inch and a half by an inch and a half is what I recall. And
I'm trying to, and I was just going to see if I could grab that information real quick, but it doesn't really matter. The point is it's large, it's a wall hanging.
It's big and awesome.
It's on size 13 count.
And I picture that like hanging maybe from like a wood banner type thing with the hanger up top. And then you can do a little magnet piece. So for this piece, there is the witch and that bat with the jack-o'-lantern I love. Yep. And then the green gourd, which is fabulous. And so the Christmas piece also had 3 pieces to choose from: a hedgehog, a reindeer, and a Christmas tree. Yay me.
Oh, yeah.
So the little guys are on 18 mesh and the larger piece. And so I've ordered, I think, 3 or 4 of these for customers of ours. And if you're a Halloween fan, I just think it couldn't be any more fabulous.
It's great. And I have a couple on order too. And I think I have at least one spot available for, anyway, if somebody needs one that you have not contacted your own local needlepoint shop. But and one of the reasons I did that is because I think my kids would get such a kick out of this. We have countdowns going at our house all the time. Right now we have the countdown to Wardy's birthday, which is next week, and we have the countdown to when the pool opens. And so this whole countdown concept is really fun, and I think this would be really fun for kids, or for if you have grandchildren that visit your home. I think that would be super fun too. And I'm excited. Go ahead.
Sure. I was just going to throw in, and I don't know how this would translate to the Halloween version, but Gay, who works for me, is big into going to estate sales.
Oh, yes.
Go to estate sales. So her plan with the Christmas one, she's like, she ordered all 3 of the little guys. So we kit ours, so to speak, with one counter, your choice of one of the 3, plus the advent calendar. So Gay's like, well, I want all 3 of them. But then her brainstorm was she was going to go to estate sales and get these little, she calls them like grandma's brooches, which I think is really funny. So I guess you have to be of a certain age, but apparently like in the 50 some range, the grandmothers would be probably 80 some or 70 some. And they all wore Christmas brooches at Christmas time, like the little pins that went in the coat. And that was like the thing everywhere. And so Gay said, whenever you go to an estate sale, there's always like a bin with 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 Christmas brooches.
Yep.
So she's already collected like over 20 of them just by going to estate sales last couple weeks. So she's going to put magnets on those and use those as her counters.
As the counters, and put one for each. I think the idea is that you put Sarah's idea was to have one item and move it along. But I love that the 31's at top. It's just very, very, it's good. It was a very, very clever, very good. Bravo. And I'll tell you something else. We already have one of our stitchers has turned in stitched the advent calendar, and we're working on getting it finished right now. So
that's a stitcher who doesn't sleep. That's impressive.
Unbelievable. So I'm excited about that because she'll have that this year for Christmas. So
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were kind of like what we feel are like kind of the old guards and the tried and true. And then there's a few fabulous, hardworking, great distributors in this industry who focus more on licensing artwork for needlepoint, which is a skill in and of itself, because not all needlework works well, or not all art works well on canvas. To put it on canvas, it's not just like slapping a picture on canvas, especially if you want to do it well. To create it so it's stitch painted, again, is a whole art. So one of those people who works with a lot of licensed designer is, her name's Pat D. And it used to be Julie Meyer Designs, but now she's PLD Designs. And she has a number of different artists. And this piece I just loved. Because at first I'm like, oh, aren't those pretty flowers? And I'm like, oh, and those birds are so cute. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, there's a kid back there.
The
So
cat. And I don't even like cats, is what she says out loud.
sorry, don't hate me, cat people. I am a dog person through and through, as most people probably know. But I just love everything about this canvas. It's so fun. And I did order it on 13 mesh, but the other thing that PLD does fabulously well is for the most part, most of their designs are available on either 13 or 18 mesh. They're larger designs, not their small pieces. So that gives the stitcher a lot of choices about, where they want to go, what they want to do. So this won't be available until September. I was remiss in not mentioning it is licensed art. So the original artist is Vicky Mount is her name. And I just thought it was super fun. So that was really fun. And then we found some smaller pieces through PLD as well, which we both loved. But then I'm like, oh, Megan, you have to get these. And I believe we both ordered these. And again, I don't think that they're available until September, but they're both on order with us currently. And these cute little mason jars.
And
I did not write down the size. Yeah, so we had to represent our bee and our gingham because we're kind of queer like that. But anyway, I just loved them. And there's 3 in the series, and I believe I ordered all 3. I think you might have as well, because I do just one. And I think these were like by 3 by 4.5. Sounds familiar. Does that sound familiar to you?
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, something like that, because I remember saying that these could definitely be shaped ornaments.
Yeah, so Just Peachy, You Are Special, and the last one.
I'm sorry, it's out of order. Give me a hot second to get it up.
Remember, but all fruits, all gingham, and with cute sentiments. So here is the last one. Life is Sweet. So
the watermelon. So it kind of takes me back to my little farm roots. They're so sweet, and no pun intended. I do that every single time. I'm
just point that out for us, okay?
So nerdy. I don't even do it on purpose. Anyway, so Life is Sweet, Just Peachy, and You Are Special, and we thought those were quite special.
And Diane Swartz is the artist for that piece, so we want to give the artist their due. So
that's exactly right. So anyway, we thought those were pretty cute.
It was fun because you can video chat with people while you're at market, and we did with some people not. And Pat is someone that I have dinner with almost every October it used to be September, the Dallas market. So it was fun to be able to catch up with her because I don't normally haven't been able to do that the last couple of years. So that was fun as well.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. So next up on our list of people who license artwork is CBK and Christine Keston, along with Susie Valerie at Valerie Needlepoint Gallery, actually put this whole market together. And Susie didn't have as much new to reveal. I think some of these artists were kind of keeping some things back for September because they know they won't have inventory for a super long time. So Susie unfortunately didn't have a whole lot to show this go around. It was brand spanking new. She had so much at the last market. Do you remember how much she had the last time? Yes. My list for her last October was like this long.
Yes. Yep. And I also just don't know how these women are doing this, because Susie, on top of, so Christine has the line, which is a really massive line, and no small task. But Susie is also a shop owner, a teacher, and a wholesale distributor, and one of the artists of her own line. So how she could have even managed all that. You go, girl, you're Superwoman. But anyway,
they put on the show. They coordinated everyone
and did the show. Oh yeah, duh, I forgot about that part. Yeah. Oh my god.
So, yeah, that's where I was going to go with all that. So Christine at CBK, we did pick. Actually, you were really funny.
This was one of my favorites.
You were like, you finally went back. You're like, I have to have that. I can't stop thinking about it.
I know. It was one of those things. So this is a rather large design. It's 12 by 12. It's on 18 count. And, that's not always my jam, particularly to merchandise right now, because the lack of teachers and 18, that it could be a little bit of a daunting task and whatever. But I thought about this, I looked at it and I was like, I don't care. I have to have this. For some reason, I love that these creepy, crawly winged creatures are bright colors, and they're, I don't know, the pattern is just off enough to not be completely repetitive. I just love this thing.
Well, and what it reminds me of, and we'll talk about her in a minute too. Let me back up for a minute. The artist is Kate Reese, and it's licensed through CBK. And oh, I shouldn't have brought this off off the cuff, because the collection has an artist who has things that have this kind of similar feel, and her name is, remember the bunnies and the turtles, and
I
I'll
think
look
it's
it
the
up.
same. Isn't it the same artist?
Lizzie Kate. Lizzie Kate.
Maybe that's it. I don't know because this. So hold that thought. This
Yeah,
particular
you talk. I'll look this up really fast. But
this
they have a
particular
very similar feel.
artist there was jellyfish, which were also super cool, but it was a dark background with like really bright colored jellyfish. And there was also, I think there was sea turtles, and that just doesn't kind of fit with my like Midwest landlocked landscape. But I couldn't get this out of my head. What's funny is I was just on Spoonflower the other day. I think you probably know what Spoonflower is, Melissa, but it's a distributor of printed fabrics and wallpapers and things. And I'm almost positive I saw the jellyfish on Spoonflower. So I'm wondering if this artist also, sorry guys, licenses her work in other places, which would be way cool to have, like, say do an inset fabric if you do a pillow, and then do like the actual fabric of this as the ruffle or something, or the back. So anyway, so we'll have to get further on that. This is not coming. I don't think I think she said probably not until the fall, but I just can't exactly remember. So
yeah, so we really like that. And the collection is Kim Walton's group of wholesale line that she does, and she also runs 2 stores. I mean, people say to you and I all the time, how do you do everything you do? We're like, we are total slackers.
ain't nothing compared to what some of our colleagues are doing. That's for darn sure.
So in Kim's line, she has a couple different things. So we don't have pictures. She has Lizzie Clark. I said Lizzie Kate, which I think is like something completely different. So I apologize for that. Lizzie Clark, who I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but like that's her bunny.
Oh
version.
yes.
So they're kind of a similar feel to see, now I'm forgetting that person's name.
Kate
Reese. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So similar feel. There's a whole series of those, and so those were out again, available later on. And then many people are probably familiar with Sarah Fitz, who is also licensed.
Amazing artist.
Her stuff is like very like East Coast preppy, like kind of totally our vibe.
Delicate at the same time. Her art is very watercolory and delicate and beautiful. Yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So a number of those have been available for the last year and a half ish. Again, I'm guessing at things, and because I have no sense of time anymore, so who knows?
I was gonna say.
And there's a whole bunch of new ones available, which looks fabulous, but they're so brand spanking new. Kim announced the art that would be available, but it doesn't even, she didn't even have a stitch painted version yet. And so it's hard to understand how it's going to translate, but Kim does it very, very well. So I know it'll be great. So,
and if you're a follower of the Sarah Fitz art and you like also stitching, and there's any particular pieces that you're curious, will these be available in needlepoint? You could email, message your local needlepoint shop. Kim knows what's coming. It's just that I don't even know that we had specs on mesh size or anything. So anyway, that's why we didn't have those photos, but yeah, I digress. So I think if my notes are correct here, we actually planned, you guys. We have notes. We have, like, I'm driving, Melissa. We're good this time. I think if my notes are correct, that kind of rounds out what we felt like was kind of hitting us in the face with the more seasoned designers.
Yeah.
And so does that mean we move on to the new-ish designer?
So there were a number. It was really exciting because even though this was a smaller show, because a virtual show's tough. I mean, it's really tough it was easy for us. We just show up and shop. I mean, that's easy. But it's hard for these vendors. There's a lot of responsibility on their plates, additional work, blah, blah. So there were a limited number of designers compared to other shows. But there were a lot of brand new designers. It was really exciting. And one of the brand new designers, I think, was new to many, many, many of our peers. I was very fortunate to come across her about 8 months or so ago. So Lauren Block lives in Pittsburgh. She was a custom painter for her local needlepoint shop, who I am remiss in not being able to remember the name of the shop that she used to do custom painting for. And maybe even still does. I'm not totally clear on that. But she had a connection to WashU. A gal that she knows hand makes greeting cards as a fundraiser for a scholarship for Elizabeth Schmerling, hopefully I'm saying that right, who was a student at WashU, who unfortunately passed away of brain cancer shortly after she graduated. So Lauren had taken these greeting cards and turned them into needlepoint canvas.
I didn't know that's what these were.
Yes, well, that's because you didn't come to our Zoom classes, naughty girl, because you were too busy parenting and being a good mom.
I came to half of one. I was parenting. Yes, darn it.
Yes, you were. You were doing what you should be doing. Family first, I always say. So anyway, so
cool.
So the mom, terrible. My brain is not with me today. I should have been that off all day long. Anyways, Elizabeth's mom, whose name I totally should know, she couldn't have been more lovely, Victoria. See, it comes sooner or later. Just take a little while.
Just in time.
She came on with us, and so she does these. She hand makes these greeting cards and does an auction once a year, and all the funds go to the scholarship fund in honor of her daughter. And Lauren has taken these, put them to canvas, and then a good portion of the proceeds go to the scholarship fund. So where all that's going is I did the Choose Happy stitch along about 6 months ago. And Lauren has now taken the Choose Happy version, and I think you can pop up, don't we have Choose Love, I think? So there were a few choices: Choose Kindness, Choose Love, Choose Happy.
I think it was just 3. So Choose Happy is the original, and then Choose Love, and I think it was Choose Kind, I think.
Yeah. So I'm sure most of you have seen Choose Happy, because I was fortunate enough to have 55 stitchers join that stitch along.
I was one of them.
You were. Have you stitched any of it yet? Oh, you're going to love it. It's 13. These are on 13 mesh. They're about, I don't have, again, I'm guessing 8 by 10, maybe at the most. And the way I wrote the stitch guide was, here are some really good stitch choices for a large area, for a medium area, and a small area, because the stripes obviously vary in size. So if you were one of my Choose Happy stitchers, you could use your stitch guide to apply to this.
Yep.
If you wanted to do Choose Love or Choose, I think the other one says Choose Kindness. Am I right on that? Do you remember?
It's just kind, but
Choose Kind. Okay, that could be. That would fit better. I'm sure you are right. You could use my stitch guide, which I will make available for these canvases, and apply it to that too. And if you're just someone who has a really great stitch book library, is that it? Sorry.
Can you see it?
Choose Kind, yes. So they all have a slightly different color palette to them, and just like it would be a great thing if you're doing the Pointing It Out challenge. When we talk about Stitch Roulette, which is flip open. Oh, there you go. Yes, now I can see. Now my lady eyes can see. So if you're doing the Pointing It Out 21 in 21 challenge, one of the things was to play Stitch Roulette, which means take one of your stitch books, flip it open on a random page, and point at a stitch and do it on your canvas. That would be the perfect canvas to do that.
It would be. What got me excited about it, first of all, I really have always loved the color combo of red and blue and pink. I just think that's a great color palette. But I was also thinking, I have some ideas, obviously, from yours. And then one thing that really drew me to your stitch guide is that you expertly chose a little doodad, I want to call it, sequin doodad.
I like my doodads.
Love your doodads, because there's little dots on the Choose Happy, and the Choose Love I particularly liked because it's little hearts. And I said, Melissa, we're gonna have to find like the perfect little hearts to go in those.
And well, to circle back, we'll probably turn back to Kim, because not only does she have Kim at the not only does she have great canvases through her wholesale line, but she also wholesales a lot of doodads. Her and Sundance are our 2 really great distributors of all those little fun embellishments that just, kind of are the icing on the cake to some great stitches.
Absolutely.
So Lauren also I ordered a number of her things, but
another one that made me gasp because it was so darn cute.
Yes, and I think you saw that she posted that was her #1 seller at this show. So I think the show went very well for her, and I'm thrilled, because she actually is an artist that used to sell direct. And she kind of did some deep thinking, and I connected her with some people in the industry, and she's made the decision to go wholesale only. which is not the only way to run your business model, but as shop owners, we really appreciate that because
Absolutely.
we hear if, people aren't supporting us. So this is also her piece. And I think that plaid is really what like
I mean, okay, so this one's on 18 count and it's 9.5 by 6.5. Excuse me, 6.25. And proceeds also go to, so I'm wondering if everything in her line.
no, anything that starts with GUB, and I don't know why it's GUB. I don't know.
It must be her friend's name. Do you think that makes the
It's
greeting card?
not. I don't know where the gub come from, but anything that's GUB is Veronica's. I said Victoria earlier. I'm remiss. Her name is Veronica. 100%. It's Veronica.
You were close.
But I think that's a great size because it, back to beating a dead horse, it could be our Christmas pillow collection we keep dreaming of.
So
But
cute.
what a great card box that would be.
That would be a great card box. That would be great for, as you mentioned earlier on Wow Wednesday, wouldn't the Sudbury tray, did you say 9 by 9?
Sudbury tray is 9.5 by 9.5.
Oh, so this is 9.5 by 6. So you'd have to just add a little bit of something on the sides, whether it's fabric or
ribbon overlay,
mat, whatever. But yeah, wouldn't that be cute? Oh my gosh.
that plaid on that truck is just adorable. So yay, Laura, she had lots of great things. I have a lot of great things from her on order. I've got some things in stock. And she's like the nicest person.
And I was about to say, unfortunately for me, I have not had the chance to meet her yet because we haven't been at an in-person market, and I guess we did not Zoom with her. Huh. I don't know why, but anyway.
Oh, I don't know why either. We didn't get to everybody we wanted to. Sometimes we just were like, forget it, let's just email an order because there's just only so much time. Another newer designer that was represented at market, her name is Susan Byrne, but her line is called Blueberry Point Design. And I had recently ordered from her, just kind of like rolled the dice and tried it. And boy, was she a joy to deal with. Her canvases came in. I thought they were beautifully painted. As a matter of fact, I don't even know, they all came in like 3 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure there's even one left in the shop.
That's awesome.
Really well done. So she had some new things. So I had ordered Camellia, if I'm saying that right, because I never say my flowers right. But what brand new to me, even though I just ordered from her, was she has an up north cottage series, which of course we were up north, so we had to order them. So she's
I will tell you all that Melissa's cottage does not look like that.
No, but isn't that so sweet? So this is her spring version. She has every season represented, and I happen to pull the spring and the summer because I'm, as we know, a summer girl. So spring and summer make me really happy.
I love this little chair and the deck. I mean, this is darling. So yeah.
And I think they're 4-inch rounds. I can't even remember. They could possibly be 4.5 inch, but either way, they're small rounds. Would be so cute on a beach bag. Would be really cute as just a little door hanger in your cottage. Would be a really great thank you gift if you have somebody who invites you to their cottage quite often. Like what?
Oh yeah, what a great idea. Yes.
So I just think they're very she lives in Tallahassee, Florida, but she's obviously spent some time up north because she gets what an up north cottage looks like. I think they're super darling. So
she does not say, I can't find the size off the top here.
They're either 4 or 4.5 inches. Either way, they're going to be a great ornament size. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the podcast on ornaments is not ornaments, you'll get lots of great ideas for what you can do with them, right?
There is always something else besides an ornament. You're exactly right. Well, we should find Blueberry Point. The other thing that she had that I just looked and I didn't nip the picture. She has some really cute 2-sided sunglasses cases.
Oh, that's right.
One says Sunnies and it's gingham.
Yes.
And the other one I think says mind your peepers or watch.
Protect your peepers.
Protect your peepers. Yes. And so I thought that was super cute too. I need to make a note. I need to order.
And the Protect Your Peepers had, of course, regular glasses painted on them, and the Sunnies had sunglasses painted on them. They were really
very clever.
Beautiful Easter things. Like everything I ordered from her, I loved, and there's more that I would have ordered when it comes to be the right season. So
got it.
Good job, Susan. And as a little aside, her husband just had some health issues, and how she pulled all this off with what was going on her personal plate, she's got to be another superwoman, if you ask me. So last but not least, on kind of who we wanted to highlight from new designers is Marianne Lynn. And I don't know anything about Marianne, although I think she may have been a customer of mine already, which I'm embarrassed that I just realized. I'm not sure I've connected them. But
Well,
she's
I think even though you don't know her, she might have your number because I'm pretty sure she painted this canvas express for you.
right.
For those of you who don't know, Melissa has a 4th of July birthday and she's obsessed with dogs. And if we could fluff up that little dog right there, I think it might be meant to be a retriever, but we could just pretend that it was little Maisie. We could just fluff her little hair up. And
you can use a little boucle or some long straight stitches, depending whether her hair is short or long. Oh, speaking of which, this morning, if anyone's watching us who watched this on Wednesday, we kind of promised you a funny dog story, and I forgot about it until right this moment. So I have this little dog named Maisie, and I have stitched.
She is a diva.
You're gonna get me coughing, and I'm not gonna talk. Sorry. You're so funny. Sorry. Anyway, she's a little 12-pound dog. And as many of you have probably seen, I have stitched the Home is Where Someone Runs to Greet You canvas from our good buddy through Joanna at Home Stitchery. It's a Dana 90 canvas. I always have to get the Dana straight. And it says Home is Where Someone Runs to Greet You, because that is what we love about this little dog. Every time you open the door, she runs to the door and she's so happy to see you. And it's like, if you come in the door and you're in a bad mood, there's no way you can be in a bad mood when this dog runs to the door to greet you. So that's kind of the background of my little fluffy 12-pound blonde dog. And so all weekend long, we were, of course, in the house. She came up with us. She's hanging with us all weekend long. And finally, at like 1 o'clock on Monday, we'd been going hard at work the whole time. You and I had been together since 1 o'clock on Friday, and pretty much all we did was work. Some eating thrown in there, some stitching in the evening, but we were really dedicated worker bees. And at 1 o'clock, I looked outside and I said, that's it. We're going to the beach, because it was 65 and sunny. And I knew once we sat down on that sand, we were going to be in all our glory. Well, I don't really like taking dogs to the beach. I feel like they get, unless there's dogs who like to swim, it's not really a good environment for them. They get hot. It's, they're just sitting there. The sun's beating down or whatever. So we leave the dog at home with my daughter. And my daughter's upstairs working. So we're like, dog will be fine. Apparently, dog didn't think she was so fine. So we get back and I walk in the door and I'm like, well, where's Maisie? Because she always, literally, you were there enough to verify this. She runs to the door to greet you every time. And I'm like, Maisie, where are you? Well, she sticks her head out from the upstairs hallway, like, and she just stands there and looks at us. And I'm like, seriously? Are you not going to come and see us? And that dog, kid you not, turns her head around, looks at Kaylee, and walks right back into Kaylee's bedroom, wanted nothing to do.
And then to top it off, you said, Maisie, I'm sorry. She takes 2 more steps down, looks at you again, and is like, no, I'm still mad. Boop, 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 twice, 2 times. It was so funny.
I think she finally forgave us. Maybe like, I think she still didn't come downstairs for like 5 more minutes. Like, she was not happy.
Yeah, so funny. Maisie was not happy, but
so back to the designer. Marianne Lynn is from Dallas, Texas, and she had a number of cute things. I happened to highlight the 2 4th of July pieces. So this is another piece of hers, which is a floral 4th of July floral.
We debated what to call it.
Bucket.
It kind of looks like one of those really cute like beverage buckets.
Right. That's what it reminds me of.
But it's just so darling. I haven't seen anything like this before, and we just love
and I have so many people who are like dying to dive into ribbon work, but then they get intimidated. And so to me, this was a great starting ribbon work project, because you could, do whatever you want on the basin or the bucket or whatever we're going to call the container. And that ribbon book that we have, or any ribbon book you can find, those are all little small flowers. So you could do all sorts of ribbon work. And ribbon work really is, if you have a good book, you can teach it to yourself. I
Yeah.
promise you can. It's easy and it looks hard and the ribbon does all the work for you. So I was just like, loved the feel of this. Of course, I'm very, partial to 4th of July pieces. So yeah, I thought it was really great.
Yep.
So,
Yep. I agree. Ribbon is very forgiving.
so I'm excited to get some pieces from her again. You and I both ordered a few pieces from her. A brand new artist. She
Okay.
did.
So I've got to interrupt because the one thing that we didn't put on here that I was loved, and we just,
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
we put it.
I made a note too. I'm like, oops, Megan forgot to upload that one Thanksgiving piece, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Shoot, no, but I did forget that. No, I was going to say Mary Ann Lynn. I was trying to see. Sorry, we're a mess here.
Yeah.
No, I did forget to put the. Okay, sorry. The Mary Ann Lynn had the umbrella that has the flowers coming out of the top,
Yeah.
and it's so cute. And she did it either in 1 or in 3s, and because I just grabbed her Instagram just to see if I could.
She has the tulip wreath and the fall wreath. I mean, there were so many cute things. And they're
Just like-
smaller pieces.
Shoot, the fall.
Yeah.
So hold on. If I stop share, whoopsie. I think I might be able to find that real quick if you all give me just a second. So I can't believe we totally forgot about this because this was one of my most favorite finds.
Yes.
So
Well, you look, you want me to intro it?
yeah, go ahead. Because I'm
Okay.
not even sure I've got it here, to be honest.
So Much Fun is by a gal, and I think her sister helps her with the designing, but her sister might just help her with the store. That part I'm not sure. Her name is Randy. And the name of her line is So Much Fun, SEW. And she is in Ontario, Canada. And she comes to market every year and she has more samples in that booth than you can possibly believe.
Oh, they're
And
amazing.
many of her pieces come with stitch guides. And she has a Christmas piece that's at 5 trees with a very detailed stitch guide that I've done as a class here. And we sell that piece over and over again. And that was kind of like her first foray down this like tray sized piece. And now she does a lot of drink oriented seasonal pieces. So I know a number of people have done the Cheers piece and it has a bunch of Halloween pieces on it. And you have a customer who's done all of them.
I have a customer who has done all of her, and they're rather large. They're trays. They're super clever. And she's got Easter, and it's like Easter cocktails. The original one I think was Here for the Booze, BOOS, and it was Halloween, and there was like witches' feet popping out of one, and a little goblin stir stick, and just really clever, really clever. So I think she, again, kind of like what a lot of these designers are doing, is take a theme and then just kind of tease it out. And so I got it here. Now I just need to share the screen again. The latest one is this Thanksgiving. Sorry. And I was super excited about it because I just thought, oh my gosh, this is so clever.
Well, and there's not a lot of Thanksgiving pieces out there. There it is.
There it is.
Familiar.
Yeah, and so Thanksgiving is kind of hard to find, but I thought this is so clever, and she does such a good job. And this isn't the best photo, but it was the best one I could get. But I love that it had the football. And here's what kind of cracks me up too. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain that Randy and her mother are Canadian. And so they don't even celebrate Thanksgiving.
Well, they do. They just don't celebrate Thanksgiving in October, not November.
They have a Canadian thing.
Canadian Thanksgiving, in my understanding, having had a house in Canada for a while, is almost the exact same like foods and everything else as American Thanksgiving. It's just a month earlier.
But do they watch football? Isn't the NFL kind of an American? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought this was super clever. And I was like, man, they don't even sell. But so anyway, there's this like football glass and the turkey with the football and the sunflower. I just really thought this was great.
I guess I was referring to the pumpkin pie, and like they eat pumpkin pie and turkey, like the food things are very similar.
Got you. Yeah. And it's clever with the candles. And I just think my brain does not work like these designers' brains do. I mean, it is just
it's just awesome. And it's something to behold, and it's really fun
Oh,
to be there and see it all. So
and she does a lot of these things on colored canvases. So like the Christmas one is on a
yes,
green canvas. This is on a beige canvas. I can't speak to the others offhand, so I'm not going to try.
there's
But
one, two,
she allows the canvas to kind of be a part of the design. So even though it's a bigger piece, at least it doesn't look like it here. And I know for sure it is not like it in the Christmas one. You don't stitch the whole back. Like you kind of,
no. And it also comes with a stitch guide, a bead kit, and embellishment kit. You can get it with those things. And the embellishments that she uses are super clever. And the ice cubes you can kind of see here. I'm pointing like you can see me. The ice cubes are these little like square flat beads, I guess, that
what are
they're so cool.
beads or something? Is that what they're called?
I don't know, but they're really cool. I really don't know anything about it, but I just think
And my
they're
friend
fun.
Scott uses them as well, and I got a
Okay.
whole education on them because I had never seen them before. And I think they're called tula beads, but if that's wrong, just put a comment down below and I'll correct myself.
That's exactly right. And anyway, I think you said while I was feverishly looking for this photo that I have two customers actually who have done trays. And so they had one acrylic tray made and they're sliding the piece in and out.
Wardrobing their tray as we talk about.
It's exactly right. So yeah, so it's really fun.
One thing to store and one thing to pay for, and then you just whoop, give it a new life every season. I love it.
You got it. Pretty fun. I can't believe I forgot that. Thank you for reminding me. That should have been up in the tried and true designer category, and we just kind of passed that by. So that was
well, yeah. It's like we said earlier, like this is just like 10% of the exciting stuff we saw, because there were so many great things, and we'd love to show it all to you, but we want to save something exciting for the future, right?
That's right. And yeah, and like I said, we will be getting things in that are new. The other thing we did a little bit of this time, we did more of it, I think, in my opinion, in the fall, is we kind of looked to revive some pieces that have been around for a while, but we thought, let's just round out an order. Let's just look and see what's in stock. There's some really good things that are out there that have been out there for a while, and let's order them again. And to try to just build inventory. And there's some fresh stitchers out there. And so you might see some older stitchers might say, oh, I've seen that around forever. But we, kind of looked at each other and were like, oh, this could be great with this, or suggesting this. And it was like, yeah, these older pieces it can be new again,
more than 3 months old,
or 3 years. 3 years right. Isn't that old in the needlepoint industry,
but in our era of like everything new means it happened last week. It does so
right.
Being, it's always new to somebody.
That's exactly right. So I would say, just we said market review. I would say as a recap, I was impressed by the fact that all of these people are artists, and they need stimulation and positive thought in their brains, just like all of us do, to maintain and to do your job. And so it's been hard to come up with, I would say, that creative instinct and that creative juice with so much kind of yuck going on in the world. But I think they did an awesome job. I think we missed those people who weren't participating. There were a lot of people who couldn't for any number of reasons. And so
and I think a lot of times our spring market is in March. So having it in May is a little tougher, just because there were a lot of people who were like, someone's graduating, someone's getting married. Like May's a busy real life month. And so yeah.
But what I think is also fun, and what I've reminded myself, is to continue to reach out to artists. I mentioned on Wow Wednesday this morning that, for example, I went to Ann Fisher's website, and even though she wasn't at market, she still has some new things out. At least I think they were new. I don't know. I saw the little case that I hadn't seen before. So
like Patricia Stone, I think had a,
yes.
I can't remember if it was a wedding or graduation, one of the two. And so she's been releasing some new things. So people are still able to like turn out these great ideas. And Melissa Prince, we didn't talk about her. She was at market. She had some great things. I mean, these designers are just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
They are. Oh, Raymond too had some new things. He was at market. We didn't get a chance to talk to him. It's like there's just not enough time. It's just like at market, you're just like running around like a mad person. We were scrolling around like mad people, and also trying to keep our sanity by getting a walk on the beach. Let me tell a quick story of my own observation from Melissa's beach house. So well, cottage. She calls it a cottage. It's a beautiful place on the water. I'm a Michigan girl. Before we were even friends, I've been a Michigan girl. I love Michigan, and I've spent a lot of time on Mackinac Island, combing the beaches, and I've been to a couple of different lakes in Michigan. And one of the things I like most is looking for little, I love looking for beach glass, sea glass, I guess is what you call it in Florida, but beach glass up in northern Michigan. And to me, there's almost nothing better than a Great Lake beach. It's chilly, it's clear, it's just beautiful. And so we were walking on the beach, and we'd never walked on Melissa's beach before because we'd been in October. And I said, oh, I bet you this is a great beach glass place. And she goes, no, I mean, I don't really think so. And I was like, oh, really? That's a bummer. So we start walking, and I keep finding these massive, I wish I had brought them, for like larger than, like sometimes as large as a quarter. And like, that's a good piece of beach glass. And I found brown, and I found clear, and I found bright blue. I mean, I had a great beach glass collection at the end. And I was like, you
I know.
have no clue.
Well, see, what I don't know if I fully explained it to you. I've been very fortunate to have 2 beach houses. And my first beach house was in Ontario, Canada. And to be honest, it was a little teeny place on a beautiful piece of beach. And sorry, I hope I won't offend anyone by this, but Canadians love their beer. And I was right on a massive beach of Lake Huron and massive waves that coming in. So, I mean, beach glass everywhere.
Churning up all of the beach glass.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be nearly as much fun.
To where I am now, which is kind of on a bay, and you don't get as many waves, and the water doesn't, churn in and out as much. So not quite so much. So it's all relative, right?
It absolutely is. Well, relative to Mackinac Island, where I was, where you barely found, I mean, you didn't find much beach glass on Mackinac. You had to, mostly probably because there were other people walking in your tracks, but anyway.
True.
The beauty of the weekend, though, was that we got to really get excited about new designs, and we got to reset mentally, take a deep breath in the fresh, beautiful air. And it was just really, really nice. I had to be away from my kids, and my darling husband took care of everybody for the weekend, but it was really nice to reset. And then now we're back at it.
Yeah. And I have to say, everyone's like, I think it's so great you two were actually made a point to go together to it. But I think if I'd been doing it by myself, I wouldn't have been as dedicated to really making our time count, especially from 10 to 4 when the designers were in their booths and we had an opportunity to talk to them. And we met with Hyla at the point of it all. I mean, there's so many people we met with that we, of course, didn't get a chance to cover here. So lots more fun things to come. We went through, like you said, a lot of show us what's in stock. We need please come in sign. We need baby's first Christmas. And the designers and the vendors were really great about working with us on our particular needs. And and Christine and Susie get a big round of applause, because that is a thankless job. They're not doing it for a profit. They're doing it just to make sure that the market keeps marching on, because even though things have changed, we got to find a way to get business done. And I think they did a fabulous job. So
exactly right. I agree. And one last thing I'm going to say, and then we have to close off because I think we've been on for about an hour.
Have we over talked again?
Probably, but we do it all the time. If anybody's still watching, we did talk about for a hot minute, I think we jumped on the topic and then jumped back off of scheduling for the podcast. So we were like, maybe since things are opening up and it's summer, maybe we should dial this back a little bit. Life's going to get crazy in the fall. What do you think? How do we do this? Because we actually did, believe it or not, talk a lot about work and we take this very seriously, and we create, we talk a lot about content, and even though we act like fools sometimes on here, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think we really wrote this down or said, hey, right, and then put a check mark next to it. But I think at the end of the day, we both determined that we are dedicated to working on getting a podcast out every week. We're not going to take a pass or a slowdown or summer hours. But we just hope that we can continue to have great content, and that if for some reason things get crazy, there may be a week or two when we might say, hey, go revisit an old podcast. We both need a break this weekend. But But we have a lot of people that we still need to interview. We have a lot of interesting topics to talk about, and we just don't see any reason to stop.
As long as people are still watching us, we'll still do it. That's the bottom line. For some reason, people still keep watching, so we'll keep at it. And, when we're down to 5 views a week, maybe that'll be our clue. We should stop. So we'll wait. We'll wait for that to happen, and hopefully it won't. We'll see.
It turns out that we really love this industry. We want to keep helping it to progress and plug along and bring you information and get you excited about needlepoint. So that's what we're here for. So if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please do so on YouTube. It's as easy as clicking a button. You do, I think, need to have a Google account, but it walks you through the steps. And lots of people say, I think I have a Google account, and you can reset that and get it subscribed very easily. So that just helps us, as we always say, continue to bring you good information and help more people find us. And yeah. So I think that's all.
If people have suggestions for future episodes, feel free to comment here or on Instagram or send us an email, although we're really not very good about checking or pointing out podcast email, at least I'm not. I don't know if you are, but
every once in a while I check. I will say that it is obvious that we both, for reasons of keeping our businesses running, have to continue to check all of those social and email platforms for our own businesses. But please do reach out.
Eventually we'll see your great idea.
Pointing it out DMs. We love you all, and we appreciate your feedback, and we're going to keep chugging. So
good.
Well, I guess the second time of the day, us seeing each other here, is coming to an end, but we'll be back again next week.
Okay, good to see you again.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.